Hello and welcome. Today, we're going deep undercover into the incredible world that's going on inside you right now. We're about to meet some elite specialists, the highly trained operatives that make pretty much all complex life possible. I'm talking about specialized cells. So let's get this briefing started and meet these incredible agents. All right, first up, let's get you thinking. Why aren't you just a giant wobbly blob made of one single type of cell? I mean, why go to all the trouble of making trillions of different ones? Well, the answer is the secret to how we, and all complex organisms, actually function. It really is all about having the right agent for the right job. And that answer is specialization. A specialized cell is one that's gone through this incredible transformation, a process we call cell differentiation. This is where a sort of rookie cell gets a very specific set of instructions, turning some genes on and others off to become a master of one particular job. Think of it like a new recruit becoming a bomb disposal expert, or a pilot, or a medic. Each one has a very, very specific mission. So here's our plan for this explainer. We'll start by meeting the specialists and getting our heads around the core concept. Then we'll dive into the body's transport and defense team, check out the action and comms crew, and then we'll even jump over to the plant world to see their powerhouses. We'll wrap it all up by hammering home our main theme, how a cell's structure is the key to its mission. Right, let's get into it. Section 1. Before we meet our individual agents, we need to understand the fundamental rule they all live by. The most important thing you need to get today is the link between a cell's design and its job. They are, and this is key, perfectly matched. Let's make this our mantra for today, okay? The structure defines the mission. We're going to see this proven over and over again. A cell's shape, its size, what's inside it, it's all perfectly adapted for the exact function it needs to perform. Okay, let's meet our first group of agents and see how this works in practice. This is the transport and defense team. These are the cells in charge of logistics, delivery, and security that keep your entire body up and running. First up, say hello to Agent RBC, the red blood cell. Its mission, and it has no choice but to accept it, is to be the ultimate oxygen courier. I mean, think about it. Every single cell in your body, from your brain to your big toe, needs a constant supply of oxygen to make energy. The RBC is the delivery service, making that happen 24/7. Now let's look at its special gear, because it's perfectly designed for this job. That biconcave shape, like a little donut, isn't just for looks. It creates a massive surface area to absorb oxygen way faster. But the most radical thing? It ditches its own nucleus. It literally throws out its own control center to free up every last bit of space for hemoglobin, the protein that actually carries the oxygen. It's a one-way mission, all about delivery. Oh, and it's super flexible, so it can squeeze through tiny blood vessels. See? Structure defines the mission. Next in the lineup, Agent WBC, the white blood cell. So if the RBC is the delivery driver, the WBC is your body's personal security force. These agents are constantly on patrol in your bloodstream, hunting for anything that shouldn't be there, like nasty bacteria and viruses. Now, unlike the red blood cell, this agent absolutely keeps its nucleus. It needs those genetic instructions to build its weapons, like specific antibodies that can lock on to certain invaders. And check this out. It can change its shape. This means it can literally chase down and engulf germs, swallowing them whole. It is a microscopic predator, and it's protecting you from the inside out. Okay, time to meet an unsung hero. We've had couriers and security, but every good operation needs a cleaning crew. You might not have heard of this one, but trust me, you couldn't live without it. This is the ciliated epithelial cell. You find them lining your airways like your windpipe, and they work around the clock to keep everything clear of dust and germs. So how does it do it? Well, these cells are covered in hundreds of tiny little hairs called cilia. And they don't just wave about randomly. No, they beat in a perfect coordinated rhythm, kind of like rowers on a boat. This creates a constant upward moving wave that sweeps all the sticky mucus, dust, and any trapped bacteria up and out of your lungs. It's a brilliant piece of biological engineering. So, a quick recap of that team. We've got the red blood cell, built for oxygen transport with its donut shape and no nucleus, the white blood cell, the infection fighter that can change its shape, and the ciliated cell, the mover, with its amazing little hairs. 3 very different missions and 3 perfectly adapted structures. All right, on to our next group, the action and comms crew. These are the cells that control everything from your thoughts to your tiniest movements and even the creation of new life itself.
And here is the superstar of the comms team, the nerve cell or neuron. This is your body's biological wiring. It transmits high-speed electrical signals that become your thoughts, your memories, and control your every single action. It's the information superhighway connecting your entire body.
And wow, does this illustrate our mantra? The structure is all about communication. It's got a super long bit called an axon to carry messages over huge distances. I'm talking from your spine all the way down to your big toe. It has dendrites that are like little antennas picking up signals from other cells. And what's really cool is the myelin sheath. It's like the plastic insulation on a wire, stopping the signal from leaking and making it travel incredibly fast.
So we've gone from messaging to movement. Now we meet the engine of the body, the muscle cell. Every single time you walk, lift something, or even just blink, you are using these cells. They're designed for one thing and one thing only, to contract, to get shorter, and in doing so, to generate the force that moves your whole body.
So how's their structure adapted for such a high-energy job? Well, they're long, and they contain special protein fibers that slide past each other to make the cell shorter. But doing that takes a huge amount of energy, and that's why they are absolutely jam-packed with mitochondria, the tiny power stations of the cell, to generate a constant supply of fuel.
Now for a really fascinating story. It's a tale of two completely different strategies for the exact same overall goal, reproduction. On one side, you've got the sperm cell, built for a high-stakes race, and on the other, the egg cell, built for endurance and to provide for the future. Let's start with the sperm cell. Its one and only mission is to win a race and deliver its precious cargo of DNA to the egg. To do this, it has to be a master of minimalism. Everything about its structure is stripped down for maximum speed and efficiency. And just look at its gear. It has a long tail, a flagellum for powerful swimming. Its middle section is packed with mitochondria, basically the engine room, powering that tail. And right at the tip of the head is something called the acrosome. Think of this as a little cap full of special enzymes, like a chemical master key designed to break through the egg's outer layer. It's a biological torpedo. And now for the other half of the story, the egg cell. It plays a completely different game. It doesn't move, it waits. Its mission isn't to travel, but to be the ultimate life-sustaining vessel. It contains everything needed to kickstart a new organism after fertilization. Its structure is totally different. It's one of the largest cells in the body, and that's because its cytoplasm is stuffed with nutrients to feed the embryo in its first few days. It has a special membrane that changes instantly the moment one sperm gets in, creating a force field that blocks all the others. And, of course, it holds its own precious nucleus, with half of the genetic blueprint for a new life.
Okay, we have seen some amazing animal specialists. But hey, let's not forget about the other kingdom. Time to switch over to the plant powerhouses, cells that are absolute masters of a stationary life, focused on gathering energy and resources right where they are.
First, we're going underground. Plants can't exactly get up and walk to a tap for a drink, so they need highly specialized cells to find water for them. Meet the root hair cell. Its mission is to be the ultimate resource gatherer, pulling in all the water and minerals the plant needs from the soil.
So how is it adapted? The absolute key is that long hair projection. It's not a separate hair, it's actually part of the cell itself, stretching out into the soil. This one feature massively increases its surface area, allowing it to absorb water like a sponge. It also has loads of mitochondria to provide the energy for active transport. That's the process of pumping minerals into the root. From the roots, let's travel up the stem to the leaves. This is where the plant makes its food. Meet the palisade cell. If a plant is a factory, this cell is the solar panel on the roof. It's in charge of that incredible process of photosynthesis, capturing sunlight and turning it into chemical energy. Its adaptations are all about soaking up as much light as possible. It's tall and thin, so loads of them can be packed side by side at the top of the leaf. It is absolutely stuffed with chloroplasts, those little green discs where photosynthesis actually happens, and it has a large central vacuole that does something really clever. It pushes all those chloroplasts to the outer edge of the cell, making sure they get as much sunlight as they possibly can. And finally, for our plant team, we have the guard cell. A plant needs to breathe in carbon dioxide, right? But every time it opens up its pores, it risks losing precious water. These cells are the super responsive gatekeepers that solve this exact problem, controlling what gets in and what gets out. Guard cells always work in pairs, surrounding a tiny pore called a stoma.
and their special trick is their ability to change shape. When the plant has plenty of water, they absorb it, become all rigid and curved, and this pulls the stoma open. But when water is scarce, they lose water, go all limp, and the pore slams shut. It is a beautifully simple and effective way for a plant to control its breathing and stop itself from drying out. And a quick summary for our plant team. The root hair cell, with its huge surface area for absorption, the palisade cell, packed with chloroplasts for photosynthesis, and the guard cell that can change its shape to control gases. Again, 3 different missions, 3 perfectly suited structures. Okay, let's zoom out for our final section. Time to look at the big picture and bring all of these incredible examples together to really hammer home our central theme.
So we come back to it one last time. Every single example we've looked at today proves this fundamental rule of biology. The structure of a cell is perfectly suited for its function. You got it. The structure defines the mission. You see, this process of specialization is what allows life to go from just a single, simple cell to a complex, multicellular organism like a plant, an animal, or you. It's all about teamwork and a division of labor on a microscopic scale. And this is how it all scales up. These specialized cells don't work alone. They team up. Similar cells group together to form a tissue, like muscle tissue. Different types of tissue then combine to form an organ, like the heart. And finally, organs work together in organ systems, like the circulatory system, to keep the entire organism running. It's this beautiful hierarchy, and it all starts with one single specialized cell. And just to give you a sense of the sheer scale of this operation, that is the approximate number of cells in the average human body. 37.2 trillion individual specialists all working together every second of every day just to make you, well, you. It's absolutely mind-boggling when you think about it. So we've met the specialists, the experts trained for one job and one job only. But that leaves one final fascinating question. If a muscle cell can only be a muscle cell and a nerve cell can only be a nerve cell, where do they all come from in the first place? What are the master cells that can become any of these specialists? Well, that's a story for another day, and it involves another set of very, very special agents. Thanks for joining the mission today.